Hello everyone, in this video we're going to draw a bald eagle. Start by drawing a circle as a guide for the top part of the body. To draw the circle, first make two small marks to indicate the circle's length, and then on the sides make two more small marks to indicate the circle's width. Then connect the marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. Sketch lightly at first so that it's easy to erase if you make a mistake. Also pause the video to draw at your own pace. The circle doesn't have to be perfect, but if you're having a hard time drawing it, just trace the outer edge of a coin, a bottle cap, or anything else with a circular edge. Below the circle, slightly to the left, make a small mark as a guide for the lower half of the body. Then connect the mark to the circle using curved lines to finish the guide for the lower half of the body. This curved line should be similar to a tilted letter U. The combined guides for the body should be similar to an egg. Above the body, slightly to the right, draw a smaller circle as a guide for the head. Use the 4 marks method to draw this circle too. Pay attention to how small the head circle is in relation to the first circle. On the right side of the head circle, draw a small arc as a guide for the beak. This small arc should be similar to the letter U on its side. Connect the head to the body using curved lines to create the guide for the neck. The line on the left should curve to the left and then down. The line on the right should be shorter and less curved. Under the body, on the left side, draw a sloping vertical line as a guide for the first foot. On the sides of the line, at the bottom, draw 2 shorter lines as guides for the toes. To the right, draw similar lines as guides for the other foot. Add 2 short lines at the bottom for toes too. Under the body, draw a long curved line as a guide for the tail. First draw 2 vertical lines, and then close off the shape at the bottom with a shorter horizontal line. And that's it for the guidelines. Now let's start on the final drawing. Inside the circle for the head, lightly sketch a smaller circle for the eye. Place the eye slightly to the left of center. When you get the size and position of the eye right, darken the lower edge. At the top, draw a short sloping line for the brow. The line for the brow should slightly overlap the top of the circle. Draw a couple of short curved lines around the eye to emphasize the outer structure. Inside the eye, off to the side, draw a tiny circle for a highlight. In the middle of the eye, draw another tiny circle and shade it in for the pupil. Add a light value to the top of the eye for a shadow, but don't overlap the highlight circle. Use the arc on the right as a guide to draw the top part of the beak. Darken the top edge and side of the arc. On the lower right side, angle the line up and inside the arc to create the pointy tip of the beak. Extend this line to the left toward the eye to create the mouth. Make the line for the mouth slightly wavy in the middle. Sketch lightly at first, and when you get the shape of the mouth right, darken the line. Follow the basic path of the arc to draw the lower half of the beak. Make the lower half of the beak slightly thinner than the original arc. At the top, draw a couple of short strokes for the feathery base of the beak. Then draw a long curved line that wraps around the mouth for more of the base. Add a few short strokes at the bottom for more feathers on the base of the beak. Inside the top part of the beak, draw a few short lines for the nostril. Use the remaining shapes and lines as guides to draw the rest of the head. Simply darken the outer edges of the guides to create the shape of the head. Use a series of short strokes as you darken the path of the guides for a feathery texture. Use slightly longer strokes on the left side for longer feathers. If you'd like, you can use a continuous line instead of short strokes to give the head a smoother look. Add a smoother line on the right side of the neck. Draw a series of short strokes along the bottom for the feathery base of the neck. These strokes will separate the white head and neck from the darker body. The base of the neck doesn't have to be perfect, just draw a wavy line that's made up of short strokes along the bottom. Now use the short lines on the lower left side of the body as a guide to draw the first foot. First, lightly sketch a U-shaped line along the top of the guide for the feathery base of the foot. When you get this shape right, darken the line, but make the bottom edge more jagged for the feathers. Now draw the rest of the foot and toes around the guidelines. Make each individual toe skinny. On the tip of each toe, draw a small triangular shape for the pointy talons. Draw the edges of the toes close to the initial guidelines to keep the shapes thin. Use the lines on the right as guides to draw the other foot the same way. First, draw a series of short vertical strokes along the top part of the guide for the feathery base of the foot. The overall shape of the base should be curved like the letter U. Now draw the shape of the foot and toes around the guidelines. Make the toes skinny and add the pointy talons using triangular shapes at the bottom. Sketch the toes lightly so that it's easy to erase if you make a mistake. Darken the lines only when you get the shapes right. Lightly sketch a long thin shape along the left side of the body and tail for the folded wing. Follow the left edge of the body and tail as you draw the shape of the folded wing. The top part of this shape should be curved and it should be near the neck. The bottom part of the shape should wrap behind the tail. When you get this shape right, darken the lines. Draw a curved vertical line along the right edge of the body for the other folded wing. This line should start at the neck and end at the base of the foot on the right. Now darken the sides of the guides to finish the shape of the body. Darken only the top left side and the entire right edge of the guides. Draw a couple of horizontal lines under the feet so that the eagle has a branch to stand on. Make the shape of the branch wider on the left side and thinner on the right side. Don't overlap the feet as you draw the lines for the branch. Now use the last shape at the bottom as a guide to draw the tail. Darken the sides of the guide, but don't overlap the tree branch. Along the bottom of the guide, draw a series of thin curved lines for the individual feathers on the tail. Each individual feather should be similar to the letter U. Above the branch, between the feet, draw a series of short strokes for the smaller feathers at the base of the tail. Now erase the initial guidelines. The next few steps are sped up so that the video won't be too long. Don't worry about erasing all of the guidelines, it's okay to leave some behind. Redraw any of the final lines that you may have accidentally erased. And now shade your drawing. use a dark value for the middle section of the body. Shade lightly at first and gradually build up to a darker value. For a light value, push down very lightly on your pencil and then push down harder for darker values. Use a lighter value on the edges of the shapes for highlights. As you shade, use strokes that go in the direction of the feathers. Use vertical strokes as you shade the body. If you shade using strokes that go in multiple directions, the drawing can look messy. Use a light value for the beak and to create some shadows on the white head. Pick a light source as you shade so that the shadows are consistent throughout the body. Add the shadows on the left side of the head and under the beak. Use a light value for the feet and a dark value for the talons. Leave a small sliver blank on each talon for highlights. Shade the branch using horizontal strokes. Add a light value to the white tail for shadows. Add a few short curved lines throughout the body to emphasize the feathers. Shading can be time consuming, so be patient and take breaks. It's a good idea to use reference as you shade for a more accurate depiction of a bald eagle. Keep shading until you're happy with the result. And that's it for the bald eagle. Don't forget to pause the video to draw at your own pace. Also, please visit howtodrawanimals.com where every step of this tutorial is broken down into an individual image. That's how, and then the number 2, then drawanimals.com. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and a comment. Also subscribe for more videos in the future. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep drawing.